Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Ready to Love Season 7, Episode 10. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it, honey. We done came from put a ring on it on over here to Ready to Love. So the singles are on their way to the getaway. Morgan and Jeffrey, they're riding together. Child, these two would hit it off. Andre, Cynthia, Mercedes, and Mark Anthony, they're riding together. And I was kind of shocked that Andre let Mercedes hitch a ride, as mad as he was about her not calling him when he was sick. I was like, what is going on? Anywho, Mark Anthony and Mercedes in the back seat looking like a real couple, so they might as well go on be together. Over in the other car with MJ, Morgan, and Jeffrey, they're talking about her connection with Mark Anthony, and she's like, you know, when Andre comes around, I don't see anything else. Okay, girl. And the other car is Lyndon, Tony, and Anthony. Honey, any, meeny, miny, mo. So they're talking about their connections as well. And Tony ain't saying nothing. He just sitting in the front seat looking crazy and scary, might I add. Okay? Crazy as hell. He is definitely one of those people that they're talking about when they say if looks could kill. That would be him. Okay? So they make it to these swamplands and they're all like, what in the I know what you did last summer is going on here? Honey, so they all looking around trying to figure out why are we in the middle of nowhere? Leave it up to Tommy. So then Tommy makes his grand entrance. How y'all doing today? Honey, long sleeves and all. And he tells them that the ladies are up for elimination and they're about to get to their destination. So they get on this airboat and they get to the house. And when they were on the boat, Lyndon made sure he grabbed Morgan first. But yeah, he only has her as a connection, so that would make sense. So like I said, they finally get to the house. Everyone starts scrambling for their rooms. Mercedes and Andre, they cutting up in the hallway, you know, just cutting up, having fun together. He said it's a lot of ups and downs when it comes to Mercedes, but they cool right now. So then they choose their rooms, even though we know they're going to be sneaking into each other's rooms, child. So y'all can choose the room all you want to, but y'all going to be somewhere else. I'm just saying. Over on the other side, Lyndon and Tony, they find the pool table and they decide to play pool for Morgan's affection. Okay, so they've been doing this all episode. Let's get into it. So Morgan walks in and Mercedes is like, girl, they playing for your heart. It ain't giving love and basketball. It's giving a fool at a pool table. So they standing there and they're playing and she was acting like she was unfazed, but she was flattered as hell. I could just tell. Okay, because that's what she wanted. Remember, she said she wanted a man that was going to be all in your face. And that's what you got. And Tony. Anywho, I feel like she likes the little gameplay until it got a little bit too real a little bit later. So Tony said if he makes it in the hole, then she's staying in the room with him. So, of course, he wins and Lyndon is left standing there. Honey, London Bridge is falling down. So Lyndon is having fun, truth be told. But neither one of them are serious about Morgan. If we really want to be real, Lyndon just there hanging out so you don't have to go home to that roommate. And Tony just want to win. By all means, he doesn't care what it is. He just wants to win. He looks at Morgan as a prize. That's what this is. In the next scene, Andre and Jeffrey, they sneak away to steal more kisses. He may as well leave Cynthia alone, because if I see them kiss one more time, I might upchuck. Moving forward. So everybody drinking. You know, they're having a good time. Everybody's mingling. So Tony gets ready to go take a shower. Lyndon and Morgan, they're talking. So Jeffrey goes out to talk to Mark Anthony. Child, there's so many moving parts. Y'all keep up. So Jeffrey goes outside to baby talk with Mark Anthony. Girl, stop wasting his time and just stick to Andre. Y'all getting on my nerves. Moving forward. And so they all sit down to eat. And so Tony wants Morgan to sit by him. He's like, sit right by me. Sit by me. I don't know. It was giving high school lunchroom realness. So she sits down. Lyndon comes and sits by her. Well, baby, what'd he do that for? Tony gets mad. He gets in his feelings talking about, okay, I'ma just move. Forget it. I'ma just move. Why though? If you are secure with your connection, secure in his manhood, because he's a real man, a lover and a fighter and a knock another out, honey, shout out to Salt and Pepper. What a man, what a man, what a man. If you feel like you the man, then why are you intimidated and worried about little old Lyndon? May the best man win. Why are you mad? It's not making any sense to me. So he gets up and leaves, honey, because he's having a full-on mantrum. Do you hear me? He is having a fit. He gets up, walks away from the table. But my thing is this. If you think you are the better man, why are you letting Lyndon intimidate you out of your seat? It shouldn't matter where he sits. If you and Morgan have this strong connection, then who cares where he sits down to eat his soft taco? Who cares? So he gets up, he goes outside, he got an attitude. She goes out and she's like, I sat next to you. Why you mad? I sat next to you. Listen to me, Morgan. I'm speaking directly to you, honey. If you have to pacify him every time you're out in public and a man says anything to you, that's not good. It puts me in the mind of, I got to fight every night to prove my love. No, y'all are not a couple yet. And so she was like, why are you doing that? It puts me in an awkward position. He's like, well, you sleeping tonight? She's like, I don't have to answer you. Calm down and act like you have some home training. So he's offended that she said that, but I'm more concerned with how quickly his mood changes. Like he just turns into someone else. It is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And I told y'all, because it's all in the eyes. If you look at a person in their eyes, you can see they're crazy. You can see it. So he's like, well, I don't think I was an a-hole. I mean, I was really kind of taken aback that she said I didn't have any home training. Of course you don't think you did anything wrong. These two are actually one and the same. She says she likes that. So this is what you get, honey. You get what you get and you don't pitch a fit. So she goes back inside after his little tantrum and whatnot. In the next scene, Suanne and Anthony, they're playing shuffleboard. So Tony comes in and he kicks him out. And she was like, oh, I see you got rid of Tony. And he was like, yeah, this our time. He being all fake, kicking Tony out the room, acting like he wants some alone time with Susu. And he's like, this me and you time, what's wrong with these people? I'm like, okay, Anthony, I call bull. So Suanne is like, well, I'm waiting for him to come out. And I'm trying to figure out, like, when are you going to come out? Come out and do what? What do you want him to come out and do? I don't get it. So he's asking her if he burned his bridge communication wise. And she's like, well, I mean, you snooze, you lose. Ma'am, just tell him that you like Blake. Just tell him. Anthony, why are you playing with Suanne when you aren't all the way in? You really like Cynthia. What are y'all doing? Okay. What is everybody doing? So she finally tells him that it's Blake for her because he took too long to stake his claim. Blake has really made it damn near to the end. Do y'all see this? Blake has really made it to the end. It is 2 more episodes and Blake is still there. He might hear the theme song. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it, baby? Blake might hear the theme song. Child, I am done. Moving forward. So Anthony all in his feelings talking about, well, thank you for considering me, honey. She wasn't hiring you for a job. Talking about thank you for considering me. He's like, you know, in the confessional, I didn't know I liked her until later on. I mean, I figured out later on I was really into her. What? Okay. Who did he think really was about to wait for him to catch up? And truth be told, Suanne had her sights set on Blake since episode 2. So she really truly wasn't worried about Anthony. So I really kind of feel like it's unfair because you didn't really like him like that either. Like, girl, get a grip. Over on the other side, Cynthia and Andre, they go off to the side. Andre is like, you know, my 2 connections are very different. And, you know, Jeffrey is wife material, like right now. And Cynthia is awesome and ambitious and she's this, she's that, and this and that. I was totally shocked that he didn't say that Cynthia was wife material. And I'm convinced that those kisses are swaying the vote. That's what it is. So they sit down to talk. Andre would be all over Cynthia if she was kissing all over him. How much y'all want to bet? If she was putting her mouth on him and her lips stank all over his lips, he would be invested in her just like he is in Jeffrey. And he ain't nothing but a hound dog, y'all. So she said, you know, she needs a man that's going to allow her to be herself. He said, well, I can step it up. She said, that's good because I didn't know if I could deal with the flashy like all the time. What she means is that hair. She can't deal with that tendril all the time. That's what she means. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, Cynthia, I like you. But I don't know what you're talking about when you're talking about the flashy because your child's father walked in with 2 big gold chains around his neck and a black turtleneck dressed like that episode of Martin when he was trying to figure out who stole his CD player. Okay? When he told Cole, sit your father down before I make change. That is how he was tried. Oh, child, I gotta laugh to keep from crying, child. This is a sin and a shame. Talking about she don't know if she could deal with the flashy. Girl, that boy had them big old chains around his neck. Girl, I'm done. He was like, yeah, well, see, the flashy is what got your attention. He said he's flashy, but his job and what his legacy is to help kids because he came from being homeless. He didn't have anything growing up, and he wants to be a role model. And I thought that was sweet. I thought that was really endearing and very admirable. And she was like, well, you're consistent. I have to say that. And I love that about you. So in the confessional, he's like, man, I have two very tough decisions to make. And again, you're going to choose the one that is putting her mouth on you. Moving forward. In the next scene, Morgan and Jeffrey go out to talk, and here comes Tony. Now, this is what tripped me out. He all up in arms because he feels like Lyndon is on Morgan's heels, but every time I turn around, you following Morgan around the house. So, aren't you doing the exact same thing? So, Jeffrey brings up her two connections, and he wants to know who it is. And she's like, I just can't choose. I just don't know. He's like, well, you know, love is hard. I mean, some people's feelings going to be hurt, but it's love. It's nothing you can do about it. It's just love. Morgan is like, you know what? You sound like you got your sense. Okay? You sound like you got some sense about yourself. But for your own self, you have absolutely none. And I don't care what y'all say. I was thinking the exact same thing. I'm thinking, how you going to give her advice when you just got through losing your damn mind? How are you going to do that? That don't even make no sense. You were throwing a full-on tantrum, but now you have all the answers for Jeffrey? Okay. So she's looking at him and she said, you being a hothead, that's alarming to me. Well, girl, I'm glad you finally seeing it. And both of y'all scare me if we are really being real. So Tony is like, well, I'm not worried about Lyndon. You know, she said, what you worried about? He was like, what I'm worried about is you won't set him straight. And it kind of irritated me that you won't let him down. It is a dating show. You two are not a couple. She ain't got to let him down at all unless it's time to make a decision. Like, sir, get real. In the next scene, Lyndon is over there talking to Mercedes. Poor Lyndon. He's the forever friend. Child, he's just trying to find somebody to talk to. Lyndon should have been gone. He really should have been gone because there's nobody there for him. So he's asking her who she's leaning toward because, you know, she friend zoned him. And she told him, you know, with Anthony, he wants the white picket fence and the wife, and he already has the kids and the career, and she just doesn't know if she wants to deal with that or if she's ready for that. But with Mark Anthony, you know, it's easy like Sunday morning. So as she's talking, Lyndon is in the confessional, and he's like, you know, I have no choice but to choose Mercedes to go home. We don't have that much people. We don't have that many people. Not that much people. We don't have that many people. I hate when people say that. We don't have that much people. And y'all know what else I hate, honey? This is just a side note. I really hate when people confuse women and woman. Like when someone says, she's a strong woman. I'm here for all the woman. Okay. Woman is singular. It implies there is one. Women would be plural. It is more than one. Oh, child, I can't stand that. Child, I just have to give y'all an English lesson real quick. Moving forward. So they sit down to dinner. Okay, because it's time to eat. And baby, this is where the foolishness is about to ensue. And I'm happy Lyndon is on the other side of the table because I do not want to hear Tony's mouth. So Anthony made dinner. Everything looks lovely. So Lyndon proposes a toast to all of them. He says he cares about them all and this, that, and this, and you know how to get close on these seasons, child. So they start talking. And so Lyndon was like, Tony, who would you send home? Everybody's like, oh, no, you didn't ask Tony. So Tony said, well, you know, I have a connection with Morgan, so that's the only person that matters to me. As long as she don't get sent home, I don't care. So Lyndon was like, oh, okay, we're on the same page. So then he goes, well, how would you feel if Marcia was still here? Would you feel differently? He's like, and again, yes, I did have a connection with Marcia. She's a very nice lady, but Morgan has been my day one and my A1 since day one. So we're good. He goes, so she was a connection. But how do you feel that Morgan's here and that I kissed her 4, 5, 6, 7 times and you've never kissed her? How do you feel about that? I was like, what? Lyndon said, oh, okay. Well, how about you saying if Marcia was here, I could have her? I bet Marcia at home like, now how did I get in it? Child say, what now? Marcia getting more time this episode than she did when she was on there. Child, they missed you, girl. They missed you. I was expecting Tony to lie, but he admitted that he did say that. I was shocked. I was like, watch, he finna get ready to lie. He said, no, I said it. And Morgan is like, I'm a little taken aback that he would pass me around like an object. Girl, I don't know why you shocked. This dude just wants to conquer you and not lose to Lyndon and his roommate. He doesn't care anything about you genuinely. So he was like, yeah, I said that, but I was upset. Lyndon said, no, you were calm when you said it. My thing with both of them is that they are acting like Morgan is a possession. And I didn't like that. Despite, her, she could be a little nuts. Still, at the end of the day, y'all are putting your egos ahead of her feelings. And she's sitting right here. And y'all are talking like she's not there. Did you even think about how that may make her feel? Like, what is really going on? So Tony is like, well, look where she's sitting. Or we could take it outside. Y'all are already outside. That's number one. Okay, and number two, y'all ain't even fighting for Morgan for real. Y'all fighting to prove your manhood. That's what y'all fighting for. You're not fighting because you want her. You're fighting because you just want to fight. It's stupidity. So in the confessional, Lyndon said it wasn't my plan to actually say anything, but watching him manipulate Morgan made me realize that he's manipulating everybody. Morgan and Tony must have already gotten it in. Had to be, allegedly, because it's some strong feelings. And y'all have been going through this process for how long? I told y'all with these two is going to be fucking and fighting. Didn't I tell y'all? So Morgan gets up to leave the table because she's completely embarrassed. And she cannot believe that came out of Tony's mouth. So Cynthia goes in to check on Morgan, and Lyndon came in shortly after. He came in to apologize to her for her being collateral damage. Yeah, Lyndon, you did owe her an apology because that was just wrong. You and Tony owe her an apology. Over on the other side, Jeffrey and Baby Hair, aka Andre, they're in the jacuzzi. And he's like, so how do you feel? She gonna say, wet. Ew. Girl. She's like, you're so far over there. Why are you so far over there? So her and these Lululemon leggings, honey, they get in the jacuzzi and they start kissing like they like to do. And she's like, I wasn't going to get in. That's why I have my leggings. I was just supposed to put my feet in. I wasn't supposed to get in there. I hate to see them kiss. I hate it. I really hate it. I don't know what it is, child. I hate it. So after a little smooching, honey, they get out. I know her legs were heavy as hell. You know how you get in the pool or something and you got on jeans, honey? Or is it just me? You know how you have a fun night, child? You just get in whatever you got on. And them jeans and them leggings and stuff be sticking to them thighs and they be kind of heavy. Anywho, that's just a side note. In the next scene, Tony goes in to check on Morgan. So he apologized to her, but then he gets the gaslighting. Y'all listen to me. He starts trying to explain, talking about, men say a lot of things when we get mad, but Lyndon did that on purpose. He's conniving. No, sir. Stick to what you said. Stick to what you did. She said, well, Cynthia said something to me. She said, pay attention to how a person treats you when they're mad. And when you're mad, you're unkind to me. He gonna twist it around on her and say, I'm not about to go back and forth with you. You entertained him in my face. What was I supposed to do? How many weeks have y'all been filming this show? You already know what it is. Tony is nuttier than a fruitcake. She better leave him alone, because one of y'all will end up on the first 48. I'm just saying. I do feel like Morgan was genuinely hurt, though, because for her to hear that he would have easily passed on her, it probably hurt her ego as well, and it probably hurt her feelings. So for him to sit here and be like, I'm not about to go back and forth with you. You are the one that said it. And y'all know this reminded me of Joelle and Vernisha. Y'all remember when they came out? Well, she came, I forgot the girl's name. Was it Ashley? Amanda? It was something with an A. She came out and told Vernisha that Joelle would have picked Kyra. And that pissed her off. Joelle! Baby, that pissed her off. And this reminds me of that. So anywho, she said she didn't expect him to respond the way that he did. She said, if they starting off like this, then this is crazy. He's like, well, do we continue or not? She said, I don't know. He said, that's not good enough for me. And so what? What you gonna do about it? She said she don't know. And what else is going on? That is the answer that she has for you right now. Let me tell you something, Morgan. Speaking from experience, if it starts this way, it will end even worse. Now, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but I would run. I would run. He's like, I can't operate with I don't know. Guys say a lot they don't mean. No, you do, but you meant it. So stop putting it off on guys. Stop deflecting. Stop trying to confuse her. You say things that you mean and didn't want to get out. Why don't you say that? Guys say a lot of things in secret that they don't want to get out. Not guys say a lot of things that they don't mean. And then he was like, yeah, we say a lot of things that we don't mean. As a woman, I can't expect her to understand. He gets mad. He gets up. He leaves. He's insane. Moving forward. In the next scene, everybody's hanging out and Tommy shows back up. It's time for the men to have a little powwow. So the women go out by the pool because it's time for elimination. So Tommy asked how last night went and they all like, oof, it was definitely something else. And Lyndon was like, yeah, me and Tony almost clawed each other's eyes out, but we're good now. So he starts with Tony asking who their connections are. Both Tony and Lyndon said Morgan, of course. Blake said Suanne. Stop asking Blake. He ain't got but one connection. Andre said Jeffrey. Mark Anthony said Jeffrey and Mercedes. But this trip, he's gravitated more towards Mercedes. So now he's asking them who they aren't connecting with. Suanne's name came up. Andre said Mercedes. Mark Anthony said Suanne because of the age difference. Tony also said Suanne and Mercedes, and Lyndon said Suanne and Mercedes. So then Lyndon goes, you know, it's funny because me and Tony have the same connections and the same people that we aren't connecting with. Lyndon, I would stop talking to Tony. I wouldn't say one word to him. Not one. So Tommy calls the ladies back in. Andre steps front and center, tendril and all. He calls up Mercedes and Suanne. It was giving me America's Next Top Model. I only have one name on this envelope. So she steps to the front. He tells Mercedes the guys feel like she gives homegirl vibes and she friend zones people. The only person she friend zoned was Lyndon. Andre, be very for real right now. With Suanne, they feel like she waited too long to open up. Suanne, they know that you only like Blake. To be continued. And that was the end of the episode. I think it's 2 more episodes left and then the reunion. Now listen, we always do the reunions live. So y'all will meet me over here for a live after the reunion airs, each part. And also check out my Put a Ring on It review. The new season of Put a Ring on It has aired. We have a new doctor in the house. And I think this season might be actually interesting. So y'all comment down below. Tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. Then scurry on over to Put a Ring on It. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.